My name is Josh, and this is my wonderful wife, Katie, and we are the Bus Buccaneers. She kind of tricked me into getting into this small lifestyle.
We had a house before this, and I asked Josh if he wanted to move into a yurt, and he said no. And then the next day I was like, do you want to live in a cool classic bus? He's like, oh. He's like, no. And then the next day he's like, okay, we can move into a bus.
I really like classic cars, grew up with a bunch of classic cars. When she said, do you want to live in a classic car? I was like, okay, that could be fun.
It took 4 days to get our house on the market, and then we sold it in like 3 days, I think.
We didn't really have any idea what we were doing. We just found this bus. It was about 80% done.
Clarence was the original owner of the bus, and his grandkids were selling it. So we ended up meeting them in Olympia, and we bought it. We looked at it one time, and brought it home and started the conversion and cleaning it up.
1957 Kenworth Pacific bus, which belonged to the Bethel School District. Just south of us here, a mile. Why, hopefully this is going to be our new luxury motorhome.
They started the build in about 1988. And when we got it, it had been sitting for about 20 years. He had done the 18-inch roof raise, there's a 6-inch floor drop, and then obviously the slide out.
On this, I'm going to attempt to put a workable push-out that will extend out roughly 30 inches and 10 foot long.
Welded the whole frame together and made it hydraulically driven. And once he was done, he actually sold the plans to RV manufacturers. So it is one of the original push-outs that was ever created in a bus or RV. The water didn't work, electricity didn't work. There was a lot of quirks that we were trying to find out. Still to this day, we're finding new things, and we've been in the bus for about 1.5 years. So we've been kind of patching it together slowly with no instruction manual, and then redoing some things here and there. So this is Scarlett, our 1957 Kenworth Pacific school bus. It did have 4 windshields in the front. There was some sheet metal work done here just to kind of change the look of it. And it's powered now by a Detroit diesel 6V92T paired to an Allison transmission 654. It's a 2-stroke turbocharged and supercharged engine. It is a beast and a powerhouse. I can tow just about anything. It gets about 8 to 10 miles to the gallon, and it's only got about 25,000 miles on it. It is licensed as a Classic 57, which is pretty cool. I don't have to pay for tabs. All of the entire belly of the bus has storage. So we've got spaces down here where we can put our tools, insulated as well. Keeps the moisture out, keeps the rodents out. It goes all the way in, so I can actually crawl in there. And there are numerous compartments along the entire bus. One of my favorite storage compartments is this one right here. Propane Bbq that was already plumbed in to the propane inside the bus, so we don't have to run a separate propane tank. It is nice because it's just under this small awning, so it keeps it dry. We do have access with power on the side, so if we want to plug in speakers or whatnot. When it was originally built as a school bus, the door was in the front. It was relocated to the middle and then custom built. So this door is actually all custom framed in. This awning needs to be replaced soon, so I'll probably replace it with an automatic awning. It's a good thing to have, and I love having the awnings over the windows as well. It keeps it a little bit cooler in here in the summer months, and then just keeps the rain out of the windows and off the windows during the winter months. We've got a 4,000 watt generator that runs off of propane. Since we don't have solar, we do use that when we're off grid or not plugged into shore power to recharge our batteries. We have a split AC unit that we rarely run. We run off of 15 amps, and that powers everything in the bus except the AC unit. If we really want to run the AC unit, we'll kick on the generator for a little bit. The air conditioning unit runs through the entire center ceiling of the bus. There's vents here in the bathroom, and there's vents up in the front of the bus. When we run our air conditioning, it cools throughout, and it's not just one area that we have to blow with a fan or spread out. And then as far as the heat is concerned, we have a propane furnace that has central heat run through with vents in every room, the front room, the bathroom, and then the bedroom as well. This is probably one of the coolest engineering feats on this bus. When Clarence built it, He even went in and did the details of capping these, so when it's out, it actually looks good. And when it slides back in, you can barely tell when it's going down the road that it even has a slide out. The bus also has leveling jacks. So if we're on uneven ground, we can actually get the bus level, which is super nice. And those are hydraulically driven. I will show you what this is. Give me 1 second. I have an air horn, but the siren's more fun. They say that you can use it as a horn, not as a way of getting people out of the way, like an ambulance or something. But I use it a lot and people always give me the thumbs up. These have been on just about every classic car that I've owned, and I've owned several different classic cars. When we sold the house and sold all the classic cars, I had to keep these and put it on the bus. Just adds a little bit of character. And that's pretty much it. This is the outside of Scarlet.
So Clarence was a pilot, so he's got little touches of pilot things in here. He's kept some of the old stuff in here, showing it was a school bus, because a lot of people don't even realize that it was. Josh does all the driving. I drove the bus one time and almost killed us, so I won't drive anymore. Out here, there's our switch panel. So it's got our ignition, our starter, our stop, it has our marker lights. What else? And our Jake brake. Those are our driving seats. So these actually spin and lock into place when we're driving. Took out some of the older electronics and put in some newer stuff. Behind the TV used to be a record player. So we took that out and mounted the TV up here. This here used to be a computer workstation, and there was a computer like this big in here, but we took out the mount and we just use that as storage now. We like antiques, so we brought in what we could to the bus. New lamp, which we mounted in here, which is our gas pump. We bought this old Pepsi box and cut it in half and mounted it. A lot of our camera gear's in there. Right here is our sticker wall. So this is where we trade our stickers with whoever wants to, and we've been collecting them since we've been in the bus. Our table right here, which also has lights built into it, and this map was in here when we got it, and it has some little dots on here, which we believe are points of interest of Clarence and his wife, Thelma. So there's a tiny little switch under the table which turns on the lights, so you can see their places of interest. This also used to have Hawaiian flowers in it, which we took out, like little lei ones, like plastic ones. And then we've been putting in magnets to places we visit. We have a freezer and a fridge, and it's pretty decent size. I can usually put like a week's worth of groceries in it. We run off the batteries or electric, so we can switch it to battery when we're driving. The stovetop, this is run off of our propane. So this is how I do most of our cooking. And then I also have our Instapot, which I do a lot of cooking in the Instapot, but really I've had to cut back a lot of my kitchen utensils from our house. All of these cabinets were custom built by Clarence and Thelma. So they built all these by hand. We put baby locks on them just to keep them shut while we drive. Right here used to be a convection oven when we bought it, but the convection oven was broken. So we ended up taking it out. Now it's just storage. And then we come around the corner here. We have this little triangle cabinet. Thelma did all the etching, the glass etchings, and it has her initials right here. So moving down the hallway, we have our bathroom, which is pretty spacious for an RV bathroom. We have a toilet, we have a shower, but it's just a closet for all of our motorcycle gear. With a little bit of work, it would work. But we choose not to use it. And we shower elsewhere so we don't fill up our tanks either. So it's just storage. This is one of the switches we found like probably a couple months after we bought the bus. So next to our toilet paper holder, there's a little switch and it lights up the sink at night.
The door has a unique cut to it, and this allows you to actually open it and then leave the door open so that it separates the bedroom from the living room.
These used to have pictures of Thelma and Clarence's family in them. They took them out, so they were just blank. So we put in these old Route 66 maps, because one day we'd like to do the whole Route 66. So coming back is our bedroom. This is our bed. It lifts up, it has pistons. This whole thing is storage. Winter boots under there, all of our Reflectix down here. These are all for clothes. So Josh has this side, I have that side. So we keep like our shirts, and then we keep some jackets in these. And Josh has a lot of hats. So we have hats hanging up here that need to be hung. This map Josh found in his grandpa's garage. His grandpa passed away a few years ago. So it's a sweet little memento that we put up in here.
Do it while you're young.
Yeah.
Don't think about it too much. We really didn't think about it very much.
Kind of just dove into this not knowing anything and just rolling with the punches. It's been a good adventure. We get to meet new people. We've gone on trips. I mean, we've done a lot of stuff we wouldn't have done with our house.
Definitely a lot of ups and downs.
Even though we don't have a house and it does free up a lot of time, it takes time in other places. Like we have to think about dumping our water tanks, or if we run out of propane in the winter, it's like, okay, how and when are we gonna go to get more propane?
I feel like it's been really fun to be creative about things. We don't have an oven and she's a baker. That's been really difficult for us, not having an oven, but it's been fun to be able to be creative, try new meals, trust your gut and go for it and don't second guess. Try it for 6 months, try it for a year. If you don't like it,
okay.
try something else. But our plan was to only do this for a little bit, and now we're coming on a year and a half. So if you're thinking about it, just do it.